Hey everybody, thanks so much for being here today on our lunch lesson live. Today we are talking about Pinterest. So I'm so glad you're here. If you have any questions about Pinterest, you are going to want to stick around. We'll talk all about how to get started, how to help it grow, and then also how to get people to your business. That's the whole point of our social media, right? Is getting people to our offers and our products and our business. So that's the goal. So stick around. You're not going to miss it. Let me know if you're watching on the live or watching on the replay. Just type live or replay below so I know who's coming on Wednesdays at 12 or who's coming in later. I would love to know. Thanks so much for being here. Give me a little hey, little thumbs up if you're here. Thanks. So I just want to take a minute to say thanks to everyone who voted. So every week I put out a little poll to decide on our topic of the week. So thanks so much for everyone who voted for today's topic on Pinterest. If you have any suggestions on a topic, of course, I would love to hear that. You can comment below, or you can always comment on the poll itself, or you can send me a private message anytime as well. But let me know what topics are going to be helpful to your business. So I would love to hear what things you've been thinking about and what things you think would be, what direction you feel like you need your business to go, but that you might not have the knowledge base or you're not quite sure where to go next. Those would be all things, we could talk about. Because I want it to be helpful, and that's the whole point of all of us being here, is to help us grow. So this is for mompreneurs, right? This is for mompreneurs, coaches, people who have, really women who have a business. The goal is always to grow our business, right? And get more people to see our stuff. And social media is a great place to do that. Pinterest, right? I always say Pinterest is one of my favorite platforms because it is full of women and moms, right? I love working with women and moms, and Pinterest is just so designed for women, right? And a lot of moms have just kind of taken over Pinterest. So if your target audience includes women really at all, you should definitely think about Pinterest, because that's where a lot of women are hanging out, right? Especially moms. So if your target audience is moms, definitely think about Pinterest for sure. So I love working with abundant mindset people, right? So at the beginning of every video, I always try to say, open your mind to new possibilities, right? Everything is possible in the universe. It sometimes takes us to change what we're doing, right? Make a change, and that's always scary, right? So if you feel your fear kind of creeping in, being like, oh, that's not gonna work for me, oh, I don't think I can do that, or that's different than what I've done before, try to release that, right? And think about, okay, this is a possibility, right? Maybe this could work for me, or it's going to work for me, right? That's really the better step to take. Not maybe I'll try this and hope for the best, but this is going to work for me. That's really the abundant mindset. This is happening. It's already happening in the universe, right? So take that, put that little abundant mindset hat on before listening to the rest of the video. Okay. So if you're new here, just want to take a quick moment to talk about me. I'm Christina. I've been helping businesses really for 15 years. I started my first little Etsy shop in 2010, which is crazy to think, right? It was so long ago. And I've been trying to get other businesses as well as my own seen online for the last 15 years. In 2014, I would like to talk about bike shop, right? My husband and I opened a cute little bike shop, coffee shop combo here down in Florida, and it was really fun. We learned a lot. And that was really how I say I always learned by fire, because we had to get bodies into our door. I learned how to market a business because we had to, right? I needed people coming in our door. So kind of a learn by fire situation, right? And it was so much fun. We loved being a part of the community, and I loved getting creative and finding ways to reach our local market. With that, we also did a lot of social media, right? So we were really successful in using Facebook and Instagram for sure. Those were the big two. Pinterest I had started, but I hadn't really figured out how best to use that from a local perspective. So, but I was so glad that I started the Pinterest account back then. I started a Pinterest account for the bike shop, not knowing really how it would work. But man, it has been so useful to my business now that it was started that long ago, because I started from a place of already a lot of followers. So just the time And that's really what Pinterest is about, is a long game, right? Unfortunately. But if you've had a personal account for a number of years, there's still, I think, a lot of traction. There's nothing wrong with changing it to a business account. And I always suggest that from your personal account, changing it to a business account. And you can even hide boards, right? If there's things that you wouldn't want people to see that you've been looking for. But most of us are kind of just creating boards of what we're interested in. And if you're interested in it, probably your target audience might be interested in it too, right? So I say just leave the boards and, figure out, find more stuff that you're interested in. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. So if you already have a Pinterest account, definitely say Pinterest below. I would love to follow you every Wednesday. We also have a little Pinterest thread in the Facebook group, so you can always post your profile or your pin or something like that, and we can all follow each other and engage. It's really great to save other people's stuff, so we can save pins. We can pin each other's pins. Or just follow people, whichever you prefer, or both is obviously great, right? So feel free to take advantage of that. If you already have a Pinterest account, just say Pinterest below, or you can post your Pinterest account below, and we can all try and follow each other. So that way we know who's on Pinterest already. If you haven't started an account, it's really easy, right? You can just set up a new account on Pinterest. Or like I said, if you've started one for your personal profile, it's really easy to just change in the little settings. You can change to a business account. And then really the fun part starts, right? So here's the kind of 4 steps or 4 things that I think are the hot tips for Pinterest, right? And I will post my, I think there's files, I think I posted in the files tab above at the top of the group. All of my Pinterest printables. They're just like my tips, kind of the top 10 boards that I think every account should have, as well as some hot trending searches. So those are kind of the 3 Pinterest printables, and I'll also try to link them down in the comments below. So you can check those out at any time. Hopefully they are helpful to you. Okay, so the first step with setting up your Pinterest account or getting started, or how to really get it going again, right? If you've had it for a while and you just want to kind of get it more engaged with your target audience, the first step is to think about that target audience. So whoever your target audience is, and if you haven't fully defined that, this is the time to really think about that, right? Who is she? Who is he? Who is the person that you would most like to work with? Are they a woman, right? And if they are, definitely be on Pinterest. Right? Are they a mom? What is their age group? What are their interests? What might they be searching for on Pinterest? So for me, right, this is really easy to think about moms, because I'm a mom and I've used Pinterest for personal reasons, right? First and foremost. So if you've already fallen in love with Pinterest and love to pin things, think about if your target audience is also interested in the things that you're interested in. So definitely things like most people are interested in recipes, meal planning. Moms would be interested in parenting, summer activities, travel, bucket list, right? I think everyone would love to, right? There's some beautiful pics, and that's what's gorgeous about Pinterest, is it's really set up to be a visual database, right? And I always say this, that Pinterest is really not your typical social media platform. In fact, a lot of people consider it more of a searchable database, whereas you're searching for pictures that resonate with you and you're lumping them all into categories, right? You're just saying, oh, that's cute, I'm gonna save that for later in my recipes box. Oh, that's awesome, I'm gonna save that for later as a great quote, motivational quote. Or, oh, I love that, I would love to travel to, Scotland or Iceland someday, so I'll put that in my travel bucket list, right? So that's what Pinterest is so great at. There are beautiful pictures, and you can just really easily categorize all of your pins, right? So, oh, I love this for this, I love this for this, and we're all multifaceted humans, right? So there's no reason that your target audience wouldn't be also interested in, meal planning or exercise, or even if that's nothing to do with what you offer as a business. I think it's even more so to be thinking about what your target audience is searching for. So that's number 1, is really get into the mindset of your target audience and what might they be searching for on Pinterest. Then number two is to really then start creating those boards. So we already mentioned a few, but create the boards that your customer would be looking for. So, and think about how your services might relate to those boards, right? So if you are a wellness coach, certainly you want to have lots of different health and wellness boards, right? So you could break those down into nutrition if you wanted to, or medical health stuff, or exercise, all of the things related to that. You could break it down, or you could just have a general board called kind of health and wellness, right? You can kind of find all different types of categories that people are already saving. So definitely think about your target audience and what they would be searching for on Pinterest. I find that really helpful because we're complex human beings. So whatever interests that you might have or that your target audience might have, here's how Pinterest works, right? If you save, let's say maybe you're even just a mindset coach, right? If you are a mindset coach and your target audience is moms who are interested in wellness, or moms who are interested in, thinking about their spirituality, or thinking about a growth mindset, or, wanting to make a change. That woman is far more interested in so many things in her life, right? She's not just interested in your amazing mindset ideas. She's also interested in home decor, right? She's interested in her entire life. She is interested in travel, meal planning, kids activities, all of those things she might be interested in. So there's no reason that as a wellness coach or a mindset coach, you can't have different boards that would appeal to all assets of your target audience, right? So those are some ideas to really think about. What would she be searching for on Pinterest? Because the idea is, if you pin a hot trending pin in, let's say, meal planning, or a really yummy recipe, or I love seasonal stuff. Most people love to save seasonal stuff. So on Pinterest, if you're on Pinterest right now, everything is Valentine's Day, and it's adorable. Valentine's Day charcuterie boards, right? Home decor, everything. It's really just fun, and definitely a time suck, right? So you have to obviously be careful of that. Set yourself a little timer if you're pinning stuff in Pinterest, and say, okay, I'm only going to spend 30 minutes on this, or whatever sounds good to you. But right, if you pin that hot trending Valentine's Day charcuterie board, and another woman in your target audience also pins that, and maybe you guys have other saved pins that you both like, then Pinterest says, hey, that person might also like this person's created pins. So you've probably noticed Pinterest will separate all of your pins. There's a created tab and then a saved tab. So all of your created tabs, of course, are also in your saved tab, but your created pins are those for your business. So Pinterest knows if you've created that pin and you guys like similar things, they might also like your created pins. So that's really the goal here, right? Is to like similar things that your audience might like, and then Pinterest has a better chance of showing your created stuff to them to get them to your business. And I say this, right? If any of you have chatted with me, right? I say Instagram, unfortunately, is the least clickable, right? I feel like a lot of us spend a lot of time on Instagram, and it's beautiful and it's a great place as well, but it is the least clickable platform, right? Period. If Instagram is the least, Pinterest is the absolute most clickable of all platforms, because people are on there and it's just the way that it was created. It's a seamless interface to click off of Pinterest, right? All the women are used to clicking off that pin, clicking to a website, getting that recipe, getting the newsletter, right? Oh, I have to sign up for this. I want that recipe. I want that pattern. I want that printable, right? So that's what makes it so clickable. They are used to clicking off of Pinterest. So wherever you want to send people, right? If you have a blog, that's a great place to think about Pinterest for. If you have a landing page, if you have a newsletter sign up, if you have a Facebook group even, although I do think maybe Facebook stuff isn't shown as much, a Facebook link directly to your group, but certainly to your website. If you have things linking to your website, and use all the different URLs, a product, right? A blog, anything that's on your website, definitely make a pin for it because it's just clickable. People can, every single pin allows you to enter a different URL. So every single pin is clickable and linked to a website or wherever you want to link them. So that's what's great about Pinterest. It's highly, highly clickable. Okay, so we talked about think about your target audience. That's really number one. And then two, create boards that your target audience would want. And think about general, right? Think what your products might fit into. So your products and services might fit into a health and wellness. If you are a mindset coach, it might fit into a motivational quotes or a self-care kind of board. So you can create boards that your stuff would fit into, as well as you can put other people's stuff. So I always suggest that is creating one board just for your products. For one, to make it easy for yourself to organize where you keep all of your business stuff, right? So wherever you keep all of your business stuff, have that be one board. And I always say let it be like a branded board, right? So if it would be like, you know, coaching services by so-and-so, or, you know, whatever the name of your business is, you could have that be one board and pin all of your products and services to that one board. But then what's great about Pinterest is you could also have a health and wellness or a you know, mindset or a self-care board, and you can save your pins from your business board also to those other boards. So it seems a little crazy, right? It might get a little complicated, but once you get in there, right, it definitely is, I think, easy to figure out. But that's really what you want to think about, is what are some general boards that my services and products would also fit into, as well as pinning other people's pins to those boards, because that's your better chance of getting seen in people's feeds, right? Is to pin kind of those general pins to all of those different general boards. Okay, so we said create boards. So step 3 is then to really think about your content. So we talked a little bit about, you know, pinning your stuff to its own board. And if you already do Canva, it's really easy to change your post size to the pin size. So let's see, there's a quick question. Yeah, definitely your board. So Dusty, right? If you want to just name your board, the business name. So you have your profile, right? So your profile might say, you know, Christina's coaching service. Then within the profile, I would have a board that also says Christina's coaching services. So you could change it up, right? If you wanted to say marketing strategies by Christina or something like that, but have a board within your profile that is named your business. It just helps you, I think, organize your stuff. So, okay, if I need to find my particular pins for my business, they're all under one board. I could also pin that stuff, right, to a general marketing board or a self-care board, or, you know what I mean? Like I could pin my business stuff to different boards. But yeah, name your board for your business. I think that is just as helpful, mostly for you, but also if people are searching your profile. And here's the thing about Pinterest, right? I think far less than other platforms, people are not going to your profile. I really don't think people are spending time, oh, I want to check out this business, what are they pinning? It's more about they are in their own feed, right? And things are appearing for them, right? And that's our goal. We want to get in that feed so they see our stuff. So it's far less about you as a business owner and making your profile look like you as the business, and it's far more about your target audience. You want to create boards, and lots of boards that your target audience would be interested in. And they can be related to your business, or honestly have nothing to do with your business, but be related to what your target audience is interested in. So, so that way you have a better chance of getting in their feed with your created pins. So yeah, so those are some great ideas. So then step number 4 is what I kind of think is the secret, right? There's a lot of different scheduling apps for Pinterest. The only one I've really dealt with, but I've been using it for the last 10 years, is Tailwind. And there could be a lot of arguments made about different scheduling apps. So if you're using a scheduling app, I would love to hear if you're using a different scheduling app on Pinterest. What I love about Tailwind is for 2 reasons. Tailwind has created communities, so much like Facebook groups, but the communities require you to pin other people's stuff. So you can pin your own stuff to that community, and then other people are required to pin other stuff, right? So hopefully other people, you can pin other people's stuff and they would pin your stuff. It's kind of a reciprocity thing, right? Like you pin for pin. So it's a great place to pin other things, other people's stuff that fit into your category. And you can pick the communities, right? Based on, so if you're in the wellness industry, you could certainly look for lots of health and wellness communities. If you're in the, mindset coaching, you could certainly look for a lot of like mindset, self-care kind of mental health type communities. So there's a lot of options on Tailwind. So definitely check out Tailwind. The other thing that I love about Tailwind, so the communities, and then they also have what's called smart loops. It feels a little crazy, right? But it is set up to loop your pins year round. So like I said, if you have your business board, you may also want to pin your stuff to a few of your other category boards, right? So if you, like, let's say you have a blog on meal planning, right? You would have that particular blog in your business board, but that pin might also fit in your meal planning board. Maybe you have a nutrition board. Maybe you have a mom's wellness board. Maybe you have a diet board. There could be a number of different boards that your product or service or blog or pin might also fit in. So Tailwind will set up what's called a smart loop and will loop that pin appropriately without being spammy in a time frame to all those pins all the time, or all those boards all the time. So that way your pin just keeps appearing in different boards and it shows up as, oh, this is a shared pin. Oh, it's shared. So it's a better chance of getting in, again, into people's feeds. So that's really the tips for today. So number one, think about your target audience, create boards that they would like. Then number three, share your content. And I think I finished saying that right. You could use Canva to create a pin. So if you're posting on Facebook or Instagram, you could definitely think about using those same pins over, just changing the size in Canva and then sharing them over to Pinterest. And I say play around with video as well, right? I think videos can really get seen on Pinterest. If you check out my Pinterest, I'll post my Pinterest below so you can check out my examples. You can certainly do a little combo of some pictures, just images, as well as some video. And if you're doing some reels, right, on Instagram, definitely play around with posting a few of those on Pinterest to see how it goes. I think reels are, kind of taking over the internet. So, so you can certainly play around with those, but you can post videos on Pinterest as well. So that is pretty much it for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you feel stuck, right, if you feel like this is a hard place for businesses, right? I feel like social media, we're told and pulled in a lot of different directions. And if you're feeling, like you need a little smoother strategy, I would love to chat with you. So feel free to, if you're looking for strategy, just say strategy below and I'll definitely reach out to you. I always offer a free social media audit. So if you're wanting some just free ideas to kind of get you unstuck over that hump in your business, or you just need some new ideas or not sure where to go next, definitely feel free to ask about that below. So you can say strategy below and I would love to reach out to you. Thanks so much for sticking around. Let me know if you have any questions.